Hi, this is Stefan with Astra Hikes, and this is the short version of why I think you should try trail running shoes compared to hiking boots the next time you go hiking. I'm going to start with cons, and the first con is ankle stability. Some hikers that use hiking boots claim that one of the reasons is that they feel more secure, that they're not going to strain their ankles, they're not going to roll their ankles using hiking boots. And that may be true for some, but I think for most not. It's more of an opinion. I haven't read any real data that supports this. So it's something that I think people think is the case, but not necessarily is true. More important is dynamic stability, that is to have good muscle activity around the ankle, and also working on improving your proprioception, which is your brain's ability to adapt to feel the surface, the ground beneath you, so you can adapt to uneven surfaces, and all these things you can train. So I think number one is kind of a con-ish. Number two is durability, and this is a real one. If you look at hiking boots compared to trail running shoes for the same distance, you are going to wear out your shoes more quick. You are going to have to buy more shoes if you hike a lot. More shoes means putting out more money and an increased consumption. When it comes to spending more money, for me, hiking is one of my big passions, so I just make sure that I have enough to buy the shoes that I need. Second is if you're looking at environmental issues, climate change, waste, that is something to consider for me, and I try to look at other areas where I can decrease my consumption and minimize my waste. So those are the cons that I can see. And now let's look at the pros. Pro number one, which is the big one, it is less weight. If you look at the difference, it's not uncommon to have more than 500 grams difference in wearing a trail running shoe compared to a hiking boot. And that's a lot. It's 600 grams is like 20 ounces, and that's not uncommon either. That's a lot of weight that you save using trail running shoes. What that means is you'll be less tired and you'll be able to enjoy your hike more, or you can go longer distances. And I think that's really something, right? You know, just being able to have more fun or going for longer distances. That's really something cool. Number two is comfort. If you compare the braking period with trail running shoes compared to hiking boots, it's virtually 0 to very little time for a braking period with trail running shoes. One of the shoes that I use is the Ultralight, and I've hiked with those shoes in really rugged terrain for hundreds of miles, and I have yet to have a single blister, not any friction, no pain spots or aggravating issues at all, not once. And I think that's more than you can say for people, you know, buying new hiking boots. There's usually a lot of time to get your feet used to the form, and it's a big difference. Number three is freedom to move, and I think this is also a really big one. If you look at times when you're out and it's wet out, it's raining, or the ground is wet, there's not a lot of conditions where actually when you're using hiking boots you are going to stay dry, because that's one of the arguments that people that use hiking boots, they put this argument forth that, well, I want to keep my feet dry. Yes, that's a good idea, but it's really kind of only true, for example, for maybe for a day hike when it's raining a little bit, the ground is a little bit wet, but it's not pouring, and you're not out for consecutive days when it's wet and raining. Because if you have that situation, you are going to get wet feet even if you have hiking boots. They are not going to keep you dry forever. And once you get wet feet with hiking boots, it's going to take a long time for them to dry out. So if you have a situation where you're out for multiple days wearing trail running shoes, one day being rain, the next being maybe sun and wind, the shoes are going to dry out really quickly, and you'll be dry. And that's really nice, right? So, and also with this, when you kind of get into the mentality that, okay, I might have wet feet using trail running shoes, you're free. You're free to move wherever you want. It doesn't matter if the ground is wet, if you have water puddles, if you have marshes, if you have streams. You just pick the spot or the trail that you feel is most safe, and you just go through it. You get wet shoes, you keep on hiking. If the weather is fine, they'll dry out pretty quickly. If you have hiking boots, you have to take off your hiking boots. Maybe you have then wading sandals, which they add up on your toe weight. You have to put those on. You have to cross, stop, put up on your hiking boots again, and then keep on going. And you might have to do that several times, and it kind of disrupts the rhythm. So I like that with trail running shoes. You just kind of keep on going. You don't have to stop if you don't want to. These are my reasons for hiking with trail running shoes, and if you think that, yeah, this might be something, I would suggest, give it a go. Go out for a day hike. Try it for a few hours a day, and if we're talking 3-season now, so it's gonna be above freezing, or in the summer, and feel how it is. If it gets wet, you just get used to the feeling and you go with it. And I think once you try it, a lot of you are gonna like it, and you're gonna stick with it. So that's what I have on making the switch to trail running shoes. If you like what you hear, then give me a thumbs up. It really matters a lot to me. And maybe also subscribe. I have a lot more content coming. It's related to ultralight hiking, of course. Until then, remember to get out there, have fun, and I'll see you the next time.